Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Tuesday, September 9, 2025. And in the news this afternoon, Darrell Vaz weighs in on JLP's defeat in Portland Eastern. Member of Parliament elect for Portland Western, Darrell Vaz, has attributed his wife's loss in the Portland Eastern constituency to a reserved showing from Jamaica Labour Party supporters. Anne-Marie Vaz, the incumbent and a first-time MP, was one of the surprise losers in the September 3 general election. She was defeated by newcomer Isata Buchanan of the People's National Party. Mrs. Vaz polled 8,181 votes to 8,316 for Mr. Buchanan. Asked on Monday about the result, Mr. Vaz said, with the election being a numbers game, a good showing from supporters in strong JLP divisions in East Portland should have secured the victory for the party in the constituency.
When I review the results in her election, her strongest division, the Mansion Hill division, came out with a lead of 325 votes, when it has come out with between 600 and 800 votes in the three previous elections since she was there in 2019. Port Antonio and Prospect divisions are very strong PNP, and if you don't come out of Fairhill and Mansion Hill with a lead of 1,500 votes, you are not going to make it. And the bottom line is that the numbers don't lie. I don't want to ascribe blame in relation to why those numbers never came out. The bottom line is that politics is about numbers. And the fact is that our numbers didn't come out, and if they had come out, she would have been victorious. We lost the seat. The PNP didn't win it. I don't know. Truth be told, obviously it will take some time for her to I mean, she's disappointed, as would anybody who would be, based on the amount of work that she did. But what I would like to say publicly is that I really am grateful and thankful for the outpouring of love and support for her. I don't think that there has ever been a politician in Jamaica that has lost an election where it has overshadowed the victory of the party. She is loved because she loves unconditionally, and she works hard, and she works with her heart, her soul, and her passion. And basically all she wants to do is to make sure and try and help and build East Portland and Jamaica, and without a question or a shadow of a doubt, she did exactly that.
Education Ministry probing reports of students being locked out of school. The Ministry of Education says it is investigating reports that scores of students across the island were locked out on Monday morning as the 2025-2026 academic year officially got underway. The students were reportedly barred for violating uniform and grooming guidelines. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon said that she has alerted the region's teams for investigation and intervention where necessary. In August 2022, then Education Minister Favour Williams noted that while the ministry understands that schools operate in varying contexts, barring students from entering contravenes Article 28 of the United Nations Conventions of the Rights of the Child, as well as the 2004 Child Care and Protection Act. Responding to the sanction, the ministry said the policy is that no student should be locked out of school. Instead, students should be permitted entry to schools, and where there are matters related to possible grooming infractions, these should be discussed and addressed in collaboration with the parents to ensure compliance. At least one administrator said the breaches were highlighted during orientation. However, students returned Monday morning with the infractions. Several male students were locked out of St. James High School on Monday morning. But the chairman of St. James High, Christopher McCurdy, said the practice is not supported by school boards. He said once the students are in breach, their parents must be contacted.
The school is in the city of Montego Bay, and as such, when you prevent students from entering the school compound, which we have a duty of care for these students, when you let them out of school without their parents' knowledge or in the care of their parents or guardian, what are you really doing? What sort of signal are we sending? Are we fixing a problem, or are we creating a bigger problem? Because what we have seen in the past is that students who have been dismissed from school without being in the custody of their parents or guardians are left on the streets of Montego Bay. So as a board, we are not a part of that decision where they're locked out of school without the necessary documentation by the guidance counselors or the dean of discipline.
Stuart Jacobs, president of the National Parent-Teacher Association of Jamaica, has urged the parents to ensure their children comply with the school rules, including those relating to grooming.
Even if you don't like the rules, even if you don't think it is fair, there's a way in which you can go about arguing these rules or arguing against these rules to be adjusted by going to your PTA meeting and speaking, or speak to your PTA president to take it to the school board. But to keep on doing these infractions and breaches, then it is not sending the right signal to as a responsible parent, and it's not a good example for your child. But do not break the rules and expect the school is going to accept your child into the school when the rules are broken. That's what breaks down society. You want to see a society break down? Start to begin with ignoring rules in a school, and that's where it spirals up and then downward into chaos in society.
Diver dies hours after returning from sea. Gripped with grief over the sudden passing of one of their own, fisher folk along Forum Fishing Village in Portmore are imploring their colleagues to take care of their well-being. Being a diver or fisherman is very challenging, but people don't really understand that. You have to rest and take care of yourself, and your lungs have to good. Don't take anything for granted. A whole heap of injury demand them get at sea. Out this side is either them walk very slow or walk very fast, because almost every man who go at sea have injuries. Enough of them walk and draw them foot, because things lick them out there. Enough of them a chase fish and things are lick them in their head. You have people who cripple, one woman said. As she tried to catch a sail, a few men were seen laying on benches. The mood was somber, and it was not business as usual, as one of their beloved divers, Shaquille Henry, passed away suddenly last Friday, just hours after returning from sea. Among the group was Henry's spouse and mother of his 3 children, Kadian. Other women cracked a few jokes, hoping to put smiles on her face, but her pain was evident. Kadian said Henry was in a jubilant mood when she last saw him on Thursday. She, however, stated that he had been complaining about the chest pains since Wednesday, so she had encouraged him to stay at home. But Henry was persistent and left for sea on Thursday. Him come from sea and me did buy some barbecue wings for him. And me call him and me no get him. And then me video call him and me and him a talk. The room dark and I told him to turn on the light. Him say him chest feel like it a fry. Me tell him to drink something warm, but it a happen from the Wednesday night. I told him not to go, but he was so persistent that he went. I didn't even see when he was leaving, she said. Kadian said about 2 hours after she spoke with Henry on Friday morning, she received a frantic call that he had been rushed to the Spanish Town Hospital. He was pronounced dead shortly after. He didn't have asthma or anything. All of this just sudden. I miss him. He was a very, very good partner. I miss the good times and I miss the fights as well. It was the 2 of us, and all when me say me not talk to him. As him come pack up the van on my foot, me gone right to him. We go out with the children a lot, and I am really going to miss that. Things are not going to be the same again, Kadian said. Henry, a 30-year-old diver and boat owner, was fishing since he was a student at Greater Portmore High School. He was a prominent figure in the fishing village and was known for his warm personality and kindness. He was also described as a dedicated father who worked tirelessly to provide for his family. As she reflects on her late partner's ordeal, Kadian said the fisher folk are sometimes chastised by customers who do not comprehend the dangers that the trade carries. People don't know say out of sea no easy and sometimes when the buyer them come round here and hear the fish price, them want class we and they don't know the risk involved. People don't understand say a bottle of gas can come to all $40,000 and you can't go out of sea with 1 bottle of gas. Shaquille have an engine that has to be serviced often, Kadian said. Diver work don't easy. It's very challenging. Sometimes people come and see you with little fish and them don't want that. And them don't know say sometimes the fish them must swim faster than the man them, she added. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.